Hello and welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, episode 7.
Woo.
With me, KCW, this week. I keep forgetting to introduce myself because I'm an idiot. With me this week is Slicinus.
Yay, I'm back.
Yay, he's back. He was ill or overslept last week, so he wasn't on.
I was ill.
Because he's a prat.
Like, pretty severely. Very shortly, though. Only lasted like 45 minutes.
Oh, it only lasted long enough for you to completely miss the recording. That's convenient.
Well, I left afterwards.
Alright, and once again we have Tristin.
Hello.
And we have Zero.
Pokémon is stealing my life.
We'll ask you what you're doing last, I think. Speaking of what you're doing, Slicinus, what are you doing?
I found a game called 7 Days to Die. It's this pre-alpha game, $35. It's got a site. I don't have a link at hand, but it's pretty fun, actually. There's not a whole lot to do, though. But it's got a great crafting mechanic. The zombies are threatening without being too janky.
Before you start getting into the details of the mechanics, what is it? Broad terms.
It's like Minecraft meets DayZ. Survival zombie game with a crafting mechanic to it.
Okay. And the 7 days to die means you will actually die in 7 days, and it's got a time limit thing on it, like Dead Rising?
No,
or...
that's what I thought, and then I stayed up to 4 this morning, getting to day 8, and nothing happened. So, no. You don't win or anything, you just keep going.
That's somehow disappointing, in that the game didn't end.
A little bit, yeah. I thought I was going to die of sickness until I realized my food meter had dropped below 0, so I was slowly dying of hunger instead. That was kind of anticlimactic. Great timing, though, on that.
Still disappointing.
The one thing I actually really like is you never feel safe. Because, I mean, you can put up walls and stuff, but at night the zombies attack really hard. They're like twice as fast as you and stuff. And they break through things, like everything. They will dig underneath your buildings and collapse them if you try and build like a trench.
Cool.
So it's pretty awesome. I definitely want to check it out. If the Yogscast guys did a Let's Play of it, and they did a pretty good job of showing off the basics in 4 episodes, I believe it was.
All right, that actually sounds fun. It sounds kind of like that game that Cliffy B demonstrated like once a couple of years ago called Fortnite.
Not familiar with that one.
I think there was just a trailer for it, and it was all CG, so it was just like dilapidated neighborhood, and there's this base made of makeshift materials, and then everyone's trying to get in, and it's like it looked like just your DayZ kind of setup. And the zombies only come out at night, kind of like Minecraft, I guess. It looked kind of interesting, but since we only got like a 30-second, maybe a minute trailer for it, I don't know. I'm hoping it's still going to come out because it looked pretty good.
1 minute and
based
6
on concept
seconds.
alone.
Just looked up the trailer for it.
Oh, yeah, so a minute trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe we'll hear more about it next year at E3.
Hopefully, yeah. Wow, this trailer's 2 years old, so I don't have hope it's going to come out.
I don't know. Maybe. I can hope.
Just like people with Final Fantasy 15.
Does anyone actually care about Final Fantasy 15?
I do. It actually looks interesting compared to 13.
Looks interesting compared to 13.
Not much of a comparison.
Not much meaning in that statement at all, really.
Well,
That's a
13
long
looks
list of things.
interesting, but it's kind of boring when you actually play it.
It's like it has more flavor than water.
Flavored water.
Oh, I forgot to mention. In 7 Days to Die, your character has weight. So if you try to build a pathway of 1 block by 1 block something, you will fall. It will collapse.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I found that at the hard way, running on a rooftop. I fell all the way through the building and died.
It's actually pretty cool. It's
Yeah. It takes
Right.
some getting used to, that's for sure. You got to build support beams for your stuff, and yeah.
And you said you've been
Sorry
playing...
to hijack the topic there.
No. And you said you've been playing Cookie
Yeah, Cookie Clicker. I'm so pissed. For some reason, when I restarted my computer, I lost like 3 days of progress, so...
Oh, no.
Hey, that's like 10,000 clicks, okay? My fingers hurt.
Yeah, I've played a couple of those style of games myself. I played the Breaking Bad one.
Yeah, I got linked to that. I did.
Yeah.
I'm too conservative when I play that game. I try to keep my chance of being busted at absolute zero all the time, so I make almost no cookies. Or whatever.
Meth.
Yeah.
It's not even difficult to do that, though. That's the thing. You can just completely ignore getting facilities and hiring dealers and that kind of thing, and just, cook it all yourself until you get access to lawyers, and then you just never have to worry about risk at all, ever. And then it just plays itself. I ended up with like $300 billion or something by the end of that game, and I was like, okay, I think I've done everything I'm going to do with this. Yeah.
I got to like 2 million and just decided to go back to Cookie Clicker.
Yeah. The thing with those games is, if you click a button, you've pretty much done everything that game has to offer as well. So, I don't know. I'd say I don't see the appeal, but I still ended up playing that game for like 3 hours. So, there's an appeal there, but it's not a good kind of appeal. It's an appeal that's like, oh shit, I just wasted like half my day on this stupid, pointless crap. So
it appeals to the worst kind of your brain, or worst part.
Yeah. Okay. Tristin, what have you been doing?
Well, reading again, and playing Pokemon X.
Okay, so what have I been doing? Because we're not going to be talking about Pokemon yet, because that's actually on the list of topics again this week. God damn it. Okay. What have I been doing? I bought 3DS games this week. I did not buy Pokemon before anyone asks.
What, did you not have enough or something? Or just not
I don't
interested?
want it.
Oh.
But we'll be talking about that later.
All right.
So,
which games?
Instead...
Oh.
Sorry?
Which games did you buy? I was about to ask.
I was about to say. I bought Etrian Odyssey 4, which is colloquially known as the cartography RPG, because one of the most prominent features is that you have to draw your own map, which, surprisingly enough, is pretty fun. It's very strange how that works out, but it actually, ties in very well to the mechanics, because there's certain enemies that are in dungeons that you actually see on the map, and you have to be able to trace their route so you can avoid them properly.
And only on the map, you can't see them just in person. Yeah.
There's like random encounters that just show up, and there's like a little marker to show how soon it's going to be before you run into a random encounter, which is really nice. I really hate when it's just completely out of nowhere, and it seems to happen like every 3 seconds. This gives you an indicator of when it's going to happen. But, there's also enemies that are like kind of mini-boss strength, and they actually show up on the map, and they'll wander around, either in set routes or just randomly, or they'll chase you down on the map. So all the time while you've got this counter going down as for when a random encounter is going to happen, these big badass enemies are just chasing you all over the map. And if you hit a random encounter, then those big badass enemies can still move every turn.
Ooh.
So while you're fighting, you've got to try your damnedest to end it as quickly as possible so you can get away before that thing joins in this random encounter.
Is there no run option, or?
There's a run option, but it's like a 20% chance of it working.
Yeah, that's not good.
So it's rarely even worth doing it unless you've got no chance of winning the fight. And then it's just praying that it's going to work before you all completely party wipe. So it's a fun game, and I think a lot of people should, give it a try. I mean, it's the fourth in the series, but that doesn't really matter at all as far as plot's concerned. And the earlier entries are a lot less accessible. As in, there's a lot more mechanics, it's really dense, and it's kind of brutally difficult, the first three were. This one's made it a lot more accessible. It's got the casual mode that you see in a lot of games nowadays, where if your party wipes in a dungeon, then you just get sent back, but you still keep all your resources and everything.
That's handy.
Yeah. It's a nicer way to play it when you don't want to get beaten over the head with how terrible you are all the time. I didn't pick casual, I picked the normal mode because I like a challenge sometimes. So, but it's a fun game, and I think people should try it. I also bought the new Harvest Moon. That was a mistake.
Why?
Has anyone ever played Harvest Moon?
I have.
played it before.
Wanted to.
Don't. It's not worth it.
The new one or the old ones?
I don't know, I played the old ones for like 5 minutes and it was completely... I don't know, I was out of my depth in like 5 minutes. But, the new one, it explains itself well, I guess. I really wish it had an options menu so that you could turn off the opacity on the text dialog box. Because as it is, you can see through it, it makes it really hard to read.
Mm.
There is no way to speed up the text scroll, so...
Oh.
So you're just sitting there for 5 minutes waiting for the text to go through.
So it's the mole from Animal Crossing, but for the entire game, basically?
There are so many mechanics in that game that are just completely user-unfriendly. Most poignant of which would be, I accidentally sold my pitchfork at one point, and you can't buy another one.
Oh.
Ouch.
So what, you just have to start over or something? Or
I assume I would have had to. You can build one, but it's like way further into the game when you unlock mining and crafting and all that stuff, which I hadn't yet.
Mm.
Being like still in the tutorial stuff where they're showing you how to do stuff. So I was like, yep, okay, that was fun while it lasted. I'm never going to play this game again. I went back to playing Etrian Odyssey. So, it was not a fun experience for me. Didn't help that it was incredibly grindy as well. So you water the plants that you've planted, then you go and explore the 3 areas that there are in the game and collect bugs, and then you water the plants again if you feel like it, then you go to bed and you do it all over again. That was how I spent the first 10 days in that game. I never want to play a Harvest Moon game again. So, soured me against the whole series. Yay!
So it's like full-length Farmville, then. Except for without the
Yep.
social aspect of it.
Yep.
Well,
Lonely farming.
Farmville. Wait, no, sorry. Harvest Moon actually does technically have a social aspect. That's it. But it's more AIs than anything.
Ah.
Yeah, there's people you can go and talk to, and you can make them bouquets of flowers from the stuff that you find in the wilderness. And it didn't actually work when I tried to do that, so I don't know. But yeah,
That's just
there might actually be a
more.
social aspect as well.
That's just even more Forever Alone. I mean, it's not. Wow.
There might be a social aspect for like the 3DS Street Pass and Spot Pass and all that stuff. I don't know.
That's a good
I don't
point.
really get to use any of that stuff because there's no one around that has a 3DS. But
This is why I play Rune
Yeah.
Factory. So much
Yeah,
easier to play.
I've been looking that up, seeing what that's about. I might get that. I don't know. But
So
yeah,
much
that's what
more
I've been doing
user
this week.
friendly.
All right, Zero. What have you been doing? Don't start with Pokemon. We'll do that last.
This week, I actually went back to work finally. Like, my burn had healed enough so that the doctor could clear me to go back to work.
Yay!
Like, most of my arm still looks red just horrible, but I can work without worrying of infection.
Well, that's good.
Well, that's nice.
Nice.
And let's see.
Are you nervous around the fryer?
Oh, it's every time a piece of, like, I'm just worried. Like, if there's a piece of chicken floating in there, in the oil, I'm like, should I?
The answer is pretty much no in that circumstance, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're actually, use a pair of tongs, exactly, because they're actually floating. The problem with the this piece of chicken that fell in before was that it didn't float. Like, they're supposed to float, but that one sunk to the bottom. So... Yeah.
Isn't that when you're supposed to, like, turn off the fryers, let them cool, and then try to take it out?
Hey, you try doing that when you're half asleep. Work the morning shift.
Isn't there, like, a rule against using heavy machinery when you're half asleep or something?
Yes.
Does a fryer count as heavy machinery?
Well, not heavy machinery, but it does.
It's heavy. It's got to weigh a few tons.
Well, heavy machinery is the stuff with engines, I do believe.
Yeah, okay.
Also,
So you're no longer burned.
Yeah. Well, it's still technically burned, just, not as bad. And what else? I tried writing a little bit. Then I was like, I can't. There's Pokemon, and it's sitting right here.
Yeah.
You really can't escape it, can you?
No, I can't. I already beat the Elite Four and the Champion, and I've done the post-game quest. I'm just searching.
I guess we're talking about Pokemon now. Yeah, okay. So, and you're searching for legendaries now, I guess.
I'm searching for the Articuno, which keeps moving every time I go to a freaking town!
I have one question to ask, Zero.
What?
How the hell do you get to the next town after Anistar? I've been stuck in that freaking cave that apparently you have to be, or there's a spot in it where you have to be stronger than the league champion in order to get through that spot. I don't know of anywhere else to get to the next town.
Dude, just head south. Ignore the cave.
Oh. Damn it.
The cave is post-game thing.
God damn it. Weird how I'm actually stronger than the cave then.
Just look at the map.
I guess it means just beat the guy, and then you can say you're stronger.
Just look at the map, and then you see an orange dot, which is separate from the route you're supposed to take, that says Terminus Cave, and that's the cave you're going into, which is completely in the wrong direction.
Oh, damn it. Doesn't help
so what
that
were your
it's not
starters?
obvious.
I picked Chespin, because I like his final evolution.
Good shout.
I like I took Fennekin, named him Kurama.
Right.
He's level 70 now, and I'm not even done the game yet, as stated earlier.
Yeah, I'm in my high 80s. It's really easy to overlevel in this game, especially if you're like me and you've played all the earlier games. You're used to having to grind a little bit. Mm-hmm. Grinding a little bit in this will take you 10 levels over level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just took down the champion with one Pokemon.
I'm actually a little worried because I have a habit of over-leveling my stuff. I'm going to be level 100 by the time I finish that game with, everything.
Yeah, it's
probably.
It's actually very, fun. Even though you're, over-leveled, it's a very fun game.
Yeah.
All right, then.
There's mix and matching outfits, there's roller skates, which is oddly enough kind of fun to me, but...
I got all the tricks for the roller skates, so I can do backflips now. And cosmic backflips.
I can do backflips already. Ooh,
I got the cosmic backflip. It's a cosmic backflip.
That sounds awesome. I don't even know what it is, but it sounds awesome.
I know. I don't even know.
I assume it's a backflip.
I tried a backflip, and I don't know what the difference is between them, because I don't know if I pulled it off correctly or anything, but it's interesting. You basically learn all the moves, and you go down to this, abandoned hotel place, past all these punks, and there's this dude who's like, "You're a real skater. I will pass down my legacy to you." And it's like, you learned the cosmic backflip. I'm like, oh. That's interesting.
All right, awesome.
And
damn, that does sound awesome. That's a shame that it sounds awesome.
And let's see. It's one of the funnest Pokemon games I've played in a long time. Like Black, I have White too, and I was playing that, and after I beat the game, I didn't really feel like I wanted to do more in it. It was kind of, I guess, boring at times. I spent most of the time
over. Not a lot of replay value on it.
Not really. Like, I spent a lot of the time in that game just like doing one of the things I liked in Pokemon White 2 was they had a whole movie studio where you could do these whole movie things where you would go through a Pokemon fight and then they'd add special effects to it afterwards.
Yeah, that was a weird thing, but it was kind of interesting.
It was really fun. Like, you do all the movies, you can get like a statue of you in the place, and you get
what?
Yeah, you do all the movies, you get a statue.
Yeah, bronze statue like at the back of the lot. It's pretty weird.
Huh.
You get famous.
And you can get your Pokemon famous if you like use them in films, and they get this like special release animation thing. It's like a star or something.
Stars that come out.
Yeah.
And you get a crap load of items from your fans.
You do. That was really nice in playing Blaze Black 2, where you get like 80 lemonades, and I just don't have to buy potions for the next 3 gyms. That was great.
You didn't have to buy like any healing items throughout the entire game, because I just got that. Like, I had hundreds of healing items.
Fucking lemonades, man. Awesome.
Lemonade. And,
yeah.
I feel like, even though I feel like the only thing that really Pokemon X and Y is missing is it doesn't have as much post-game content as White 2, which it's understandable because they had to go through and build 3D models for over 700 Pokemon, and do all this and that. So
that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
then
I guess
so. I don't think the models themselves actually take up much space. It's the sounds that they put in that take up more space than the model.
Yeah, like they have to create every single Pokemon in 3D. They have to create all the trainer customization options, all this new stuff, the whole Pokemon on Me, super training. They go through and they added all this extra stuff that I feel like now that they've kind of revolutionized the whole console Pokemon experience, and they're really getting a handle on it, the next Pokemon game, which I'm going to tell you right now is going to be Pokemon Z, is probably going to be the best one.
No doubt.
I hope so.
Because this is them changing up the formula. Game Freak getting used to working with the 3D engine and everything.
Considering they've been doing everything 2D for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Aside from post-game content, do you think they fumbled with anything? Like they made improvements, but it turned out to be not a good idea?
Difficulty.
I'm
still going to say difficulty.
Difficulty is there's a thing where you can go post-game. There's a battle place where you can go, which is always fun. There's a whole Battle Mason where all your Pokemon are level 50, and then you have to go against other level 50s. And there's a whole Battle Chateau where if you competed it enough times, the champion will come. And you can fight the champion over and over again. And there's a whole there's these rich things, and you can use the Black Word of Challenge to increase all the trainers' levels in there by 20.
So you're 50 going against 70, or
no? In the Battle Mason, you're 50, everybody else is 50. Battle Chateau, you go in there, everybody's their regular level. Like, the champion's around 60s or 70s. Then you can increase their level by 20 for extra challenge.
Wow.
That's not really extra challenge, though.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah. That's going to be the biggest problem I have with X and Y. Aside from not being able to catch all the Pokemon, that's always going to be a sticking point for me now that I've played the hack games where you can do that. But the difficulty, it's not that difficult to make the game difficult. I mean, you put Protect on a few of the enemy's Pokemon, you give them a move that would hit their type weakness. So you put out like a Grass Pokemon, and you're facing a Water type. And say that Water type then knows a Fire move for no apparent reason. But they know it, so that they can kill you in one shot. That's more difficult. Rather than just adding 20 levels to the enemy. That's nothing. You just know your type advantages and that's it. You
but that's
win.
why I like
the
battle
cheap as crap, but okay.
Mason. The battle Mason, because all the the Pokemon you fight there, they have items and things like that. You know, they're different from the rest of the Pokemon. You know, it is more challenging, and I think one of the main reasons they didn't make it too difficult was, first of all, you know, they have a lot of kids playing it who are like, this is my first Pokemon game. And then there's a whole competitive scene, which is, extremely difficult.
Yeah, but that's really not a fair argument. I mean, kids aren't that stupid. I like to give kids more credit. That some of them isn't really a good argument either. I mean, you're not going to learn to think and plan and critical thinking and all that stuff just from doing, this beats this wins. I mean, games don't necessarily have to be educational, but at least I'd like for kids to have to think when playing it, and I'd like for adults to not be completely brainless when they're playing it as well. That's just me.
The only thing I feel that really takes away from the difficulty is just the over-leveling, and even then, you know, there's still, the whole new fairy type, and there's double-typed moves. I haven't really encountered
There's also
many.
inverse battles.
Yeah, inverse battles where all the weaknesses are reversed.
Huh.
That seems... that's not a good argument, because that makes no sense.
It's where...
I'm going to stop saying that's not a good argument, because that's really a dickish thing for me to say. But why... what... So everything's just backwards, and that's it?
Yeah. Weaknesses are strengths,
Why?
and strengths are weaknesses.
Why?
I don't know. They
Because,
just decided to do so, I guess.
Because reasons.
I mean, double and triple battles, sure, that adds a whole new dimension to the game. I mean, putting your Pokemon in the middle slot into the triple battle means that it can be hit by everything, but it can hit everything else at the same time. That's interesting, and that adds another dimension to the strategy of playing the game. Inverse battles just sounds like everything's reversed. We reversed your controls for extra challenge, I guess. It's the same as that. It's just like right is left and left is right. Oh, no.
There's also Horde battles and Sky battles.
I was just about to ask about that, actually. The Horde battles, are those excessively difficult, or do you have a bunch of moves that are group attacks?
If you're not prepared for them, they can be difficult. Because, you got 5 Pokemon attacking you at once. They're usually, they're usually not, high levels. They're usually a kind of a slightly lower level. But still, it can get you into trouble unless you have a move that can hit all of them at once.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
They seem to be completely optional to me.
5 level 20s nearly took down my level 70.
Wow.
Yeah. Of course, I ended up catching the last one, but I managed to take them out, but they nearly killed them, which would have been annoying to me.
I just have a Gardevoir that just uses Dazzling Gleam and just shines them all with bright light and they all die.
Huh.
Despite the whole lack of difficulty, it is a fun game. And, if you're looking for difficult, you can play Etrian Odyssey or SMT4 on hard mode. But if you're looking, it's Pokemon. It's fun. I enjoyed it, and that's what I'm basing it off.
Yeah. So are the hack games, and you can catch every Pokemon. Sorry.
Emerald.
Vanilla games just aren't my cup of tea anymore.
Can't you just trade online? I mean, there's not that many exclusives. It's 15 or something, but...
Yeah, well, until you get until that Pokebank opens where people can transfer over their Pokemon, there are unobtainable Pokemon in the game.
Ah.
But once that ends, everybody can transfer over theirs, and then boom, you've got every single Pokemon obtainable in the game.
What were we talking about?
Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah, it's stupid, and I prefer the hacks. That's my opinion.
I actually used an action replay and hacked one of my earlier games to get, level 100 shinies. It was fun.
Nice.
Just walk
speaking
through
of
walls
that,
and capture trainers Pokemon.
Are shinies easier to get? Do you have any?
No. I've only encountered 2 shinies in the entirety time of ever playing Pokemon. So pretty much my entire life. Only 2 shinies.
Huh.
One was a Gligar, the other one was a Tentacool, which was green. Instead of the red jewel, it had a green jewel.
Huh.
I caught one. It was a red Gyarados.
Oh, yeah. Red.
Mother.
Yeah, I got a red Gyarados, too.
I think everybody's gotten that at one point.
Everybody's got at least one. They got the red Gyarados. Which I will be transferring over to X and Y.
If you get a shiny Magikarp, what do you do?
You can use it, obviously.
Because you could evolve it, but then it just looks like you got it from the Lake of Rage.
Just keep it as a.
But if you don't evolve it, then you've just got a shitty Magikarp.
Keep it as a gold Magikarp, and then hack it.
Yeah.
And make it awesome.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably the real way to do it. Yeah.
Add Roar of Time. Oh God. Fusion Flare. Just every legendary move you can.
I would love to see that, actually. A Magikarp with all those moves. Just the deadliest Magikarp in existence.
Use
the
Dark
legendary
Rise,
Magikarp.
Just use a Dark Void. Just
screw that splash shit. Seriously.
Oblivion Wing. It doesn't even have wings.
When fins, it's close enough.
Yeah.
Gyarados can fly. Mega
yeah,
Gyarados.
but doesn't it turn into a dark type when it goes Mega Gyarados?
Yeah, something like that.
Mega Gyarados looks so retarded. I mean,
yes, it does.
Most of them do.
I like the Y Legendary's signature attack. It just flies up into the sky and it shoots a giant laser at you, and all the move does is it deals damage and it heals its HP by over half of what it takes. But it just looks so cool shooting a laser at you. The Legendary flies up in the sky. It shoots a giant red laser at your Pokemon. Your Pokemon's health goes way down, and it heals itself by over half of that damage.
That's just excessive.
It is the destruction Pokemon.
The X Legendary just buffs itself, and it takes 2 turns to buff itself.
Which is one thing I do.
Yeah, but what kind of buff?
It's special attack and special defense, I believe.
And speed.
1 level?
Sharply. So.
That's not so bad.
It takes 2 turns, though.
Does the Mega Evolution wear off at the end of the battle, or is it a turn limit?
I think
it wears off at the end of the battle.
All right.
I haven't
so you can
seen
switch it out and then switch
yet.
it back in. You
yeah,
can
it
Mega
does.
Evolve something.
But you can only Mega Evolve one thing at a time.
One thing in a battle.
So no, I've actually Mega Evolved my Blaziken from the Mystery Gift event, and evolved my Blastoise in the same battle.
How?
That was before I was overleveled.
Did you manage to do that because it was a different item? It wasn't the Mega Knight or whatever it is?
No, it was because my Blaziken got taken out.
Ah.
Okay, so if something
that's
dies,
the only way
you
you
Mega
can do
Evolve
it.
again.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
I only found it out by chance.
So that means that in competition, when you take out a Mega Pokemon, there's another one.
Yep.
Possibly. I guess the trade-off is it means giving up one of your Pokemon in order to get another Mega Pokemon.
Yeah, and the trade-off with...
You have to let one faint.
And the trade-off with the Mega Evolution is, first of all, you lose items. Any item you could have given that Pokemon to make it better, don't get that item. You have to give it the Mega Stone.
Oh, I get what
Also
you mean.
true.
Okay, yeah.
So, Scissor, loses its choice band or whatever, which makes it very powerful and becomes a Mega Scissor, which is kind of It looks cool, but
Never
I'm not
seen
so
it.
sure.
Not much of a stat increase to really justify it, or
It's not really like. I don't think it's really worth it to Mega Evolve him. I think it's better. He's a good Pokemon. It's better to just keep him the way he is. Like, there's some Pokemon that you can't use, like, at all unless you Mega Evolve them, and once you Mega Evolve them, they're actually good. Like Mawile.
Oh, God.
That's the thing with the huge mouth.
yes.
Right?
Yes.
That doesn't really narrow it down as much as I thought it would. There's a lot of
it's
Pokemon
yellow.
that have, like, large mouths.
Yellow and gray. It looks like it's wearing a dress, even if it's a guy, Mawile. And it's
got a giant
mouth
on the back of its head.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's
like
yellow
a
and
ponytail,
gray,
but
I
it's
believe.
a giant mouth.
And its
Yeah.
Mega Evolution has 2 giant mouths.
Yup. Which is really stupid looking, also, but whatever.
I always thought the mouth like split in half or something.
No, I think it just was like, hey, just gonna invite a friend over.
Yeah. Just grows another one, something, I don't know.
Okay, that's a weird way of putting it, but sure. Yeah, I'm not really sold on the Mega Evolutions for the most part. Doesn't help that most of them don't look that impressive. Venusaurs in particular.
Mega Houndoom.
Ooh. Never seen
There's
it.
a Mega Hound.
It looks
looking that
freaking
up
sick.
now.
I like Mega Blastoise.
It just
That-
looks more spiny.
It gets giant freaking horns with Mega Houndoom. Freaking demon dog.
Of course, that's what it was originally.
Pretty much.
I'm not finding it.
Mega Hound.
Mega Houndoom.
Mega Beedrill looks pretty awesome.
Is it just me, or is it like every first generation Pokemon that has one? First and second gen. Sorry.
They were given them based on popularity, and Mawile's 3rd gen.
Mawile is popular?
I guess. I think they gave it to him to make him usable, more so.
It wasn't a very good Pokemon before? Or
No, not really. It wasn't. Mega Aggron and Mega Medicham, it's all like you got Mega Garchomp, and that's like 4th gen, and Mega Lucario, which is also, but it doesn't go. Actually, I don't remember what Gen Abomasnow was. I think it was.
Both of those sound
4th.
overpowered as crap.
Mega Garchomp gets like axes. Its hands become basically blades, just giant red blades.
So like Scyther?
Yeah.
Or
Except
Trico?
it has a lot more spikes.
Not
It's
Trico,
a land
the other
shark.
one.
Yeah.
Land shark.
I wish they had have given Gallade a Mega Evolution.
That would just be
I would
epic.
love to see that.
I agree with you there. I would actually like to see that.
Maybe next
The
gen?
hell is Mega Alakazam?
Mega
He's
Alex
just older. He has facial hair.
Got a giant fuck-off beard.
Gandalf.
Gandalf the Yellow. Mega Gengar looks cool.
Yes.
I like that with the glowing... Yeah,
I have
like
Mega
that.
Gengar, so.
I still have to get the stone for it.
Some of these are a little bit diffy, like Mega Kangaskhan where the baby's just out of the pouch.
Yeah.
What? Why? How does that make it stronger?
But its ability is every move used by the Pokemon will hit twice.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's useful.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's very good.
It's because the baby is also fighting with the mother.
Mm-hmm. I think I already said this, but my main problem with the Mega Evolutions is they're temporary. That just annoys me.
Yeah, but you do them right as you attack. And,
I know, it's just that I have to keep doing it. It just pisses me off. Since I grind a lot, I would just be in and out of battles constantly.
I only use it for really special battles when I'm, fighting my younger brother.
It's just decimated?
Yeah.
Mega Ampharos looks like it's in a hair metal band.
Mega what?
Mega Ampharos.
It becomes dragon type.
Yeah, I know. That's actually kind of awesome.
Oh, wow, you're
because,
right.
You know,
He's...
Yeah, it's got the big mullet thing going down the back of its head. Oh, I'm going to have to link all these images. God damn it.
They can look it up. Use Google.
Yeah,
Just go on Cerebi and type in Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, they're all there. I couldn't find them on Bulbapedia. God of War's got a huge dress.
Yeah.
Hips.
What? Yeah.
That sounds so bad.
Are you kidding? Cheesy's already done a picture of it.
How is this thing called Sir Knight in Japanese?
What?
I don't know.
God of War is called Sir Knight in Japanese.
Like, I think it has two translations. Like, one is Sir Knight, like Sir, and then Knight, and then another one's like a Japanese translation. I don't know what it is. Have to look it out.
Yeah. Makes no sense. I mean,
it's basically based around the fact that Pokemon is very devoted to its trainer and would give its life for their trainer.
Yep.
I guess. Yeah.
Suppose
I watched a YouTube video once where it was like trying to say that God of War is supposed to be like a dude and it's supposed to be like a knight type.
They have Gallade for a knight.
Design.
They have Gallade for a knight.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing God of War as a knight. That's...
Yeah, it doesn't... Plus the psychic thing, if it was a knight it would be fighting type,
You'd
right?
think.
Or fighting steel, maybe?
or fighting
God of War
psychic.
can create
like
a miniature
Gallade.
black hole.
Oh god.
Like, its Pokedex entry is that God of War will create a miniature black hole to protect its trainer when it's in trouble.
Wow. Is that
Speaking
not
of,
God of War's
that should
badass.
definitely be a high-level move, but...
But it uses, basically that's, I think, when it gives up its life.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's like a self-destruct kind
it's
of
a
thing.
singularity from Mass Effect. That's what I think of.
That should be a psychic type self-destruct attack. Singularity or something.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no one would ever want to use it,
No,
but yeah,
not.
it'd be great.
It would be a spectacle move, really.
Mm. Or something that you might pull out in a competition or something. As a last-ditch effort.
Mega Garchomp
Anyways.
is awesome. Just gonna say that.
What the hell happened to Mega Manectric?
Yeah, it grew out.
It's being taken over by its
It
fur.
grew out its hair.
Oh, that. Yeah, I was actually going to comment on that, but I didn't know its name. It just looks like Super Saiyan 3 now.
It's made of triangles now.
It's just one big lightning bolt of fur.
Yeah.
Love that sack electricity.
You know what Mega Pokemon I want to see? Pikachu.
I
Mega
don't.
Pikachu.
Pikachu can stop getting special treatment now, please.
You know what's actually one of the things in Pokemon X and Y is that Pikachu now says Pika when he comes out.
Yes, it does. And there's like 50 of them. I really hate Pikachu now because overexposure. I can't stand them.
But it's
Really?
it's an exclusive to Y.
Wait, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I got Y.
I'm getting
I got
Y,
X.
apparently.
I can't find it anywhere.
The
Other
Y
than
legendary.
trading.
I have like 2 Pikachus, and I keep trying to catch them because I want to get a light ball because that actually makes Pikachu usable.
Yeah, but you still want to evolve it into a Raichu because the Raichu can use Light Ball as well.
But I'm going to, of course, give the light ball and get a Pichu with Volt Tackle and everything.
I thought so. I was about to comment on it, but didn't get the chance. Damn it.
So you're going to catch a Pikachu, steal its light ball, and then throw it away, and then get a Pichu.
No, catch a Pikachu, give it its light ball, have it mate with another Pikachu, then give the Pichu that light ball because the Pichu already knows Volt Tackle because they mated with the light ball.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then you evolve it into a Raichu.
Yeah.
Because Raichus are fundamentally better than Pikachus. Because it's evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they lose speed. Well, okay, in the logically speaking. I don't know about stats, but whatever.
Stats, no, they don't.
Supposedly, both Pikachu and Raichu have the same amount of speed.
They do. Everyone keeps thinking because of the anime and being like, oh, Pikachu's faster and Raichu isn't as good because it gets tougher but slows down. No. The point was that Raichu was evolved early, so it didn't get the fast moves like agility and quick attack and all that stuff. The point was, you evolve it, but evolve it later after it gets its moves. You still evolve it, because if you don't evolve it, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
This is Ash we're talking about, not Red. Although Red doesn't want to evolve as Pikachu. He just keeps it in reserve.
Now that Pikachu's the most popular Pokemon in existence, yeah, he doesn't.
You know, when I got Pokemon Yellow, when I got Pokemon Yellow, when you start as a Pikachu, I didn't use Pikachu the entire game.
Huh. Are we talking about anime Red or, like, comic Red?
Like, comic Red.
Okay. That's good. I saw Origins recently. It was just kind
Origins is awesome. Well, yeah.
You can go.
Well, I like Origins because it really it tells a story that's very close to the game. Like, you can see, like, a lot of the references to the game, you know, and that's why I like it. It's very kind of builds on that nostalgia, I guess, which is, you know, what everybody capitalizes on nowadays.
That's true.
I really wish they gave a nod to Gary's Raticate dying.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. You know, some confirmation after all these years, after all the speculating.
I'm pretty sure it's dead.
Yeah.
Also, in episode 1, the noise Charmander makes, I was warned about it ahead of time, and it was still jarring.
Yeah. It was just...
Why? What? I don't remember.
The death scream it makes when Squirtle bites it.
Oh. I don't remember that, but sure, I guess.
I like the fact that in Origins, the Pokemon don't just say their name. They actually make the noises.
Yeah. I didn't even notice that until, like, episode 3, but yeah, it was a nice touch.
You know, and I wish they would, like, make something based off the Adventures manga, you know, which is... I like the development that they do in there.
Some of the games are actually based off of Adventures, because I think Crystal was based off of it, because it had Eunice, and then Heart Gold, Soul Silver were also kind of based off of it. I mean,
I wouldn't know. I only got like halfway through Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
I mean, the Kanto gyms weren't part of Team Rocket, but it had some of the stuff from the Adventures.
Okay, I think we've talked about Pokemon long enough.
Yeah, I was say that earlier.
Episode.
So let's move on. Next topic on the list is...
Actually, I'd like to... I was interested in Rune Factory. I'd like to... If you could explain that to me.
Well, its catchphrase or subtitle is A Fantasy Harvest Moon, but
you're losing.
The big difference is A, there's actual monsters and you actually level up compared to, like, Harvest Moon. There's dungeons where you have to tame monsters to add to your barn to ship stuff like milk or honey or even claws and fangs. It all depends on the monster, really. But with the newest one, Rune Factory 4, how do I explain it? You can basically grow every crop in almost every season. I haven't checked for winter yet because I haven't gotten that far. I've been too busy playing Pokemon. But there's a varying degree of effectiveness in each season, I guess.
That's a hell of a green thumb, by the way.
Yeah.
To grow anything, anytime?
Well, the main characters are always what are known as Earthmates. They're basically people who can help. They've basically got green thumbs. They can communicate with monsters. They can use ancient magic. They can translate ancient runes that pertain to their what would you call that? What would you call the type? I think it's basically title sort of thing. I wouldn't want to call it species because that's just sectionist or whatever. Segregation. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't know the term. Anyways, but the dungeons get progressively harder. The story, it's actually got a story compared to most Harvest Moons, where it's basically like play and grow things. So it gets really boring really fast. But Rune Factory doesn't. Rune Factory, it's got like, well, depending on the game, there's different stories. One of the games that I actually played, the very first one, when I actually married one of the characters early before actually finishing the game, there was actually a like a line in the script saying for that wife to go home, which wasn't there when I played it before. This was like a replay of it.
Okay.
But that's one of the.
I think you're losing us in the minutiae of the mechanics there a little
Anyways.
bit. But I'd say it sounds interesting, except for the fact that one, Rune Factory 4 is not out in Europe, and will not be for another 6 months at least.
That sucks.
And also that on searching for it on Amazon, it came up with like 6 different Harvest Moon titles. So
don't search.
I am really getting soured by it.
Don't search. Don't search a fantasy Harvest Moon. Search Rune Factory.
I was searching Rune Factory. It came up with 2 Rune Factory titles and 6 Harvest Moon titles.
That makes no sense, honestly.
It's related products. They're very similar, apparently.
It's because they're made by the same company. That's it.
Okay.
Right.
That's also not selling it for me.
Well, they've got an extra, what would you call that? Like a partner, I guess? Who made it? Marvelous Entertainment, or Marvelous AQL, depending on what media you're playing it on. Playing a Marvelous game on. I think on the DS it's Marvelous AQL, but on PC it's Marvelous Entertainment, or PS3, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm looking through their game back catalog. Skullgirls was on here for some reason.
They also made Avalon Code, which I liked for a while, but then stopped playing because it was really difficult to actually get everything 100% complete.
Deadly Premonition. I am now a little bit on board.
You liked Deadly Premonition?
Of course I like Deadly Premonition.
Never played it.
I watched 2 best friends play it. Seems
same here.
I watched the Giant Bomb crew play it. It was amazing. Yeah, that was an interesting game.
They endurance run that, or they just like do everything?
They did 2 endurance runs of that.
Oh.
They did one that was Vinny and Jeff, the OGs from Persona 4, and they did one that was Brad and Ryan. Rest in peace, Ryan Davis. But yeah, they did like a dueling endurance run thing. So they had them both playing at the same time and releasing an episode a day. There was a scene where both teams had like this amazing reaction to this one moment in the game, and it's I kind of don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to talk about it, but it's either watch that or go and play the game, because either way it's a fun time, even if the mechanics are a little bit hokey and annoying sometimes.
It's definitely something you need to see to believe, really.
Yeah. Something to experience for yourself rather than listen to other people's opinions of it.
Mm-hmm. Just like people's opinions of Saints Row 4. apparently people were concerned that it's just a copy of other games.
Shocker. Saints Row 4 is supposed to be copying other games. I never would have expected a Saints Row game to copy other games.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. My entire world is shattering around me.
What's wrong with copying other games when you do it well? What's the problem with that? I mean, Darksiders is supposed to be like carbon copy of Zelda, except with like more gothic elements to it, and it's amazing.
Darksiders 2 seems more like a copy of World of Warcraft.
Well, Diablo, but yes, I agree with you there. And it's also amazing. Both games are very much worth playing, and everyone should go play them.
They're fun.
But there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a copy of another game when you do it well.
Or even a copy of another form of media, like The Matrix. Apparently that animation when you're going into a warden and absorbing it, apparently that's supposed to be a reference to the Matrix movies.
Going into a what?
Okay, there's these aliens called the Wardens, and they're basically like a boss. You get enough notoriety, and one of them will come down.
Yeah, the whole game is basically a send-up of The Matrix.
Yeah.
Talking about Saints Row 4 again. But, yeah, it's a lot more like sci-fi references rather than like, gangster movies or anything like that, like the first three were. So, I don't know. I mean...
Does the first game even count as a Saints Row game anymore? I mean, does anybody actually went back and played Saints Row 1?
I never played the first one. I started with 2.
Huh. Yeah,
I started with 3.
It's just GTA with a slightly more outlandishness.
Slightly less if you go by the time period. I mean, that came before GTA 4 and after San Andreas.
Oh.
So.
Okay, yeah, about the same in some areas then.
Yeah. So.
You mean it came out...
I don't know.
Wait, did you say before GTA 4 and after San Andreas, or did you say...
Yep.
Okay.
I said before GTA 4, yes.
Okay, I heard it backwards for some reason. I don't know why.
That'd be a weird world.
That'd be a really...
you know what we haven't talked about at all?
What?
GTA 5.
Never played it.
It's a good game.
No doubt.
Even based just on a single player, it's a good game. I mean, I had a go with the multiplayer, it was okay. But multiplayer just pretty much isn't my thing, so I didn't spend much time with it. But it's a fun game, and the plot is a lot more interesting and, immersive than 4 was.
Everything could be better than 4. That game was terrible.
The switching between characters thing isn't as successful as it could have been, maybe. I don't think that mechanic was very well thought out.
Do you have to switch, or what's the motivation there?
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, you have to switch.
That sucks.
You play as, the black guy, Franklin, the old, washed-up guy...
Trevor?
Michael, and the psychopath, Trevor. And they each have their own, skill sets, so Franklin is a good driver, Michael is...
rich guy.
What is Michael? He's ish. But, he's I guess assault, maybe? Oh, he's good at stealth. Now I think about it, yes, stealth. And Trevor is a pilot, and also a psychopath, thus he's quite good with guns. So, yeah, they have their own skill sets, so you play as different characters to do different things. So, you'll have Trevor flying a helicopter, and you have Michael in the back with a sniper rifle, and then you got Franklin on the ground, and you're covering him as he's trying to get away or something. And you switch between them depending on what role you need done.
I mean, just when you're wandering around doing stuff, do you have to switch? Do they have a stamina meter or something, or?
It's not like Dream Drop Distance from what I've seen.
I don't know what... I know that's a Kingdom Hearts thing, I think.
Yeah.
But
I got the reference. I get what he means.
I don't. But, yeah, they each have their own individual mission sets, so you have to switch between them sometimes so that they can do their own mission so you can progress the story. And they have their own, separate money So you can buy things as Franklin, and then Michael won't have access to it and stuff like that.
Is there a universal bank for all your characters, or?
No, they all have separate.
That's
the point.
Sucks a lot.
A little bit. That's the problem with it.
So is there any way to transfer money between your characters, or?
Not really.
Ew.
Doesn't the last thing you do get you like 3 million or something like that?
The very last mission can get you 35 million, I believe, each.
Oh. Huh.
But then there's properties in the game that are like hundreds of millions of dollars. So there's a stock market in the game as well that you can play to like improve your money, get more money that way, but it doesn't work very well, and it's unstable, and one of them is based on, like, it's online, so it's connected to all the players in the world, and if the players around the world are screwing up this one company, then it'll get screwed. Whatever.
Yeah, I think I just prefer to buy a property and slowly build my way up, Fable 3 style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really work like that, though, because they don't earn that much.
Ew.
I mean, I spent $200,000 on a taxi company, and it brings in $2,000 every week.
Like,
that's in-game week.
Okay, in-game week. Okay, never mind.
As in a full 7 days, and time does not move quickly in that game.
The only time I ever used the stock market in the game was I used stock market in Animal Crossing to get like 6 million bells, and that was good.
Okay.
Is that their money? Is that the money name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So I just got 6 million. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
How much did you owe Mr. Nook after that?
Really, I can pay off my entire house with that easily, and get all the upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
And still have some left, and still have enough left over to like build stuff in my town.
Handy.
Nook's awesome.
He is actually a good guy, you know. Like he doesn't set a deadline for when you're supposed to pay him back. He doesn't have any interest rate.
And he doesn't have any debt collectors.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's been a shocking lack of knee breaking.
I guess, but you don't really know that he's not put any interest on that loan. Like, he says you've got to pay this much back, and he doesn't actually tell you what the value of your house is.
Yeah, but he doesn't increase it after he tells you.
He doesn't, but you still got to pay that all back. And you don't necessarily know that he isn't going to send anyone around to break your legs if you don't pay. Because, theoretically, you paid it before he had to do that.
You could fast forward the game 20 years and it doesn't happen, so...
Yeah, but you also don't age in that time.
True. What a strange world you live in.
The immortal mayor.
I don't.
Mm-hmm. It's basically civilizations.
Mm. In frickin' Super Smash Brothers, I'm looking forward to using that Animal Crossing villager.
Yeah.
Like, he smiles while he, like, destroys you. Fire a laser at him, he'll just pocket it.
I really want to see how easy Mega Man is to handle, or if he's, like, overly complicated.
From what I've seen of his moveset, he seems like my new favorite character.
Hmm.
Like, it looks like, he's gonna have, like, sort of similar to Sonic's up B, and then his, I think his normal B is his shoot. Side B looks like he grabs the person and throws them up in the air, with that super arm, and, then all its aerials look really good, like the aerial side with the flame sword thing.
Ooh.
I really wish they'd bring Zero into a game. Like, Mega Man and Zero.
Yeah.
He was a support character in Melee, I think. Not Melee, the one in the Wii. That's it, yeah.
No,
yeah, but I mean like an actual player character.
He wasn't a support character in Brawl or Melee. No.
He was an assist trophy.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Zero was.
He was something. Yeah, he was a trophy or something like that. He was in the game. Just
maybe a trophy. I don't know. No, was he? Well.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, that he was a trophy.
I have to check that.
So we're going to change the topic now that we've been talking about games for so long.
Okay.
So next topic on the list is Stanley Parable, a game.
Yeah. It's a very interesting game. It's like a game that it's a game about choices, I guess you could say.
Ooh, that sounds like a back-of-the-box quote. Do you want to actually elaborate on that a little bit?
The Stanley Parable is a game where you start off and you have a narrator who's narrating things. He's English too, so you might like that, Casey.
Okay, so it's like Bastion, then.
Well, no, not exactly. In the start of the game, you're presented with an option. There are 2 doors. The narrator says that you go left. You can go right. And then from there, you can completely derail the entire plot that he has planned for you. Basically.
Okay.
That
actually does sound very interesting.
Look at the tropes page for it. You basically you can derail the narrator, and he gets angry at you, and you interact with him, and it's a very the voice actor is very good, very talented, and
I might have to actually look this up.
I just typed Stan into Google, and it instantly searched for Stanley Parable in all capitals with an exclamation point. I have no idea why I did that.
Okay. I honestly thought it would have brought up an Eminem song. That's just me. That was a good song.
Imagine it like Portal, except they have the narrator has complete control over every single thing and knows it's a game.
That would suck.
But he's not out
in real life. That would suck.
But he's initially not out to kill you. If you play through the whole story mode, it's you get a happy ending, sort of, in a way. It's very contradictory. It was originally based off they basically just made a whole full version of it, which is all like HD and everything, and put that out on Steam. I think there's still a sale on it, so it's like 20% off. It's like $12 now.
Yep, just check. It's 12.
Yeah, but it was originally a mod for Half-Life 2, and it was so popular that it got its own game.
Sorry, yawned. It definitely looks like a Half-Life mod, definitely still, but that really shouldn't take away from it at all.
Nah.
If you liked Half-Life, at least.
Never played it.
I didn't, and I never liked the look of it, so I don't know.
Nah.
I'll give it a go, though, because it sounds like an interesting concept at the very, very least.
Like, there's one part where you have to input a passcode into a thing, and the narrator's like, but what he couldn't know was that the password was 2845. And, you get the answer through the narration to what the passcode is, but you can choose to just keep putting in the wrong number again and again and just make the narrator angry until he automatically opens the way for you.
That's awesome.
And if you play through it before and you know the passcode already and you run over and you push it, then you push it in before he finishes speaking, he'll be like, he'll comment on how impatient you are, and then he'll stop talking, just play music, and be like, now he has to sit and think about what he's done. For a little bit. And then he opens up the window. And if you try going into the console and typing in server cheats, the game will take you to a quote unquote serious room where he's like, this is a serious room. This is a serious table. I've made this serious table, and it was the most serious table I could ever choose. And he's basically berating you for trying to cheat in the game. In that serious room.
So if it's like you enter any of those console commands and you just go there instead, or
if you try to enter server cheats, which allows you to enter more console commands. The game...
Is there actually a reason to cheat?
Just to see what's behind a bunch of the locked doors and things like that.
Oh,
but
okay.
The game, it's a game that predicts what gamers are going to do, and it kind of preys on the fear and paranoia of gamers and what they typically do in a situation. Like, if you deviate from a course, you're going to get another ending. There are tons of endings to this game. And secrets,
okay, yeah. Too. I really wish I had money so I could do this. At least try this. This sounds awesome.
I'll probably give it a look, considering I have absolutely nothing else to buy for the next 6 months or so.
There's one ending, and this is just a minor little, spoiler on how to get this ending. But there's a broom closet that you pass by, and it's a door that says broom closet on it. You can choose to enter that broom closet, and then go in there and just close the door behind you, and it'll be like, and Stanley decided to go into the broom closet for no reason whatsoever, and and then you just wait there, and he'll be like, he'll slowly get more and more upset until he decides to just kill you and restart the game. And then when you go back to the broom closet, it's all boarded up.
That sounds interesting. Maybe we should stop spoiling all the good moments.
Yeah.
Oh, there's way more, but a few. That's just to get you interested. There's a lot more things you can do in that game. Like I was surprised. Like I played through it like yesterday, and I was like, oh, those must have been all the endings. So I looked up a flow chart that could tell you which choices would get you to what endings. I'm like, there's like 5 endings I still haven't unlocked, or 7. A
lot of replay value then.
Yeah, it's got a lot of replay value. And there's only really one ending where you kind of, I guess, break free. There's 2 endings really where you break free of the narrator and just get true freedom.
Nom nom nom.
One of which
is
should
be
yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to something else because we've talked about that for a while. For far too long, in my opinion. But so the next topic on our list, villains.
Yay.
Zero. Talk about villains for a while. God damn it.
Now, what I see with a lot of people when they write villains is you'll see this a lot. Is that there's a lot of different ways you can write a villain. A lot of people will try to make them inexplicably evil or have and just make them to be the big bad, the big evil guy. And sometimes people will try to humanize their villains and be like, oh, they're not evil, they're just misunderstood. And I always, yeah, kind of. And I feel like a good villain should be written so that most villains they're still human, but they're not just like, oh my gosh, I feel like destroying everybody because I was bullied as a kid.
Or somebody killed my dog, like Nagato, or Pain, or whatever.
Somebody killed my dog, so thus I'm going to destroy the world. There's when you write villains, I always find it's good to have a legitimate reason for why they're a villain. Because very few people wake up and they'll be like, you know what, I'm just going to go destroy things. It could also make them a psychopath, but
yeah,
it can be hard to write a psychopath.
You got to be really careful about using that because it can go off the rails pretty quick easily.
Mm-hmm. Anything with mental problems can get off the rails really quickly. And one of my villains, for example, in my fic, I got Akutsuki, who is there, and I have a social link with him, a bond with the main character and him. And it's kind of interesting because when they have their little social link event, they kind of, talk back and forth about, what is what is the good and the evil in the world, and which one's right,
It becomes a bit of a debate.
Yeah.
So you're trying to show the villain's motivations through logical reasoning rather than trying to give an emotional response, because Akutsuki's not really that kind of character.
No.
He's not very emotional,
Akutsuki's not the kind of character that would try and grab you through, trying to tug at your heartstrings. He just doesn't operate like that. So he would take the more logical route. He would try and convince you using arguments and reasoning.
Yeah.
So, and through him, he's trying to convince both the main character, but he's also trying to get the audience to sympathize with his position a little bit, which is a good thing to have for villains.
You know a villain's written good when their argument makes sense. When you can see why they would be like that. They're like, this is why we should do this and this and this. Can't you see? And you're like, I kind of can, and it's scaring me. You can have the villain have an emotional background that pushes them to that logic, but you can't have that logic that emotion be their argument, really. Like there's a logic.
If the hero questions if he is a hero, then your villain is a success.
Yeah. If your villain is like, or what you're doing really helpful? Are you really being a hero by acting the way you're acting? And the hero is like, I don't know anymore. Then your villain is doing pretty well. And I feel like any good villain at first, it should not be easy to take down a villain. They should represent the final, like, or not necessarily the final, but like a big obstacle for the hero.
Unless it's like a villain of the week kind of thing. Then,
unless it's But even
I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with you on that point. I mean, it depends on what you mean by like easy to deal with.
I mean, they can be like, I guess you could meet. I guess like they shouldn't necessarily be like if you're trying to make a story where your hero more develops, I guess you want the villain to help your hero to develop and become more of what the hero is supposed to be, rather than just getting swatted aside and being like, oh, you're evil, I'm good, so I'm right.
Mm-hmm. Not every mook needs to do that, though. I mean, it's just like only the standout.
So I guess
there should be.
So are you saying that a villain needs to be strong?
No,
or powerful?
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be powerful. There's different ways that a villain can be powerful. Like Kutsuki, he's not really powerful, but he can. He's very like manipulative.
They need to be confident and maybe even passionate about their ideals.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say like I was gonna disagree with you because like as an example, in Fable 2, the big bad guy is not actually a boss fight as you would find typical in games.
Yeah, but I guess
most games you have the big boss battle where there's like a giant monster or something, and the bad guy's shooting magic or guns or whatever at you, and none of that happens. Basically, you unravel his plans, you meet him at the top of this tower, he's all alone, he's just a man, and you shoot him in the face, and he's dead.
Yeah, it's more about the journey with that, You've gone...
Yeah, it's not necessarily about defeating the big bad guy. This is the man that has destroyed everything you cared about, and you just want him to end.
So it's about the Fable, you could say? Yeah, I hated that game so much. I mean, it was really satisfying to shoot him in the face, but I hated the ending of that game. I chose the...
I didn't, because it was atypical for games, because it was something you just don't see. Every game has to have your Bioshock ending, where there's the giant man made of gold, and he's swatting you aside because he's that powerful, and all that bullshit that didn't make any sense in that bloody game.
But science.
I like endings that fit the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So Lucian was never actually shown to be powerful. He was just a guy that had a plan and knew what he was doing, and he carried out that plan. And through fate or whatever bullshit they used in that game, it was a weird way that they got around it, but his plans get unraveled, and then he's nothing anymore. And that was a nice way to do it, in my opinion.
I think...
Just a man with all of his dreams broken around him.
I think if you are going to make a villain that's powerful, though, you have to... Like, you have them usually show up, and if they are more powerful than the hero, they kind of maybe, become the unbeatable enemy that you have to face, and then the character loses, and he's like, I need to get stronger, or whatever. And then they spend the rest...
Yeah, your general shonen plot.
General shonen plot, if you're going to do a villain that's powerful. Rather than just like, hey, it's just a guy, and now it's a giant frickin' monster that you have to fight all of a sudden.
Oh,
yeah.
I really hate that. I really hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
It's the smooth.
The what?
Nothing. Nothing. Just this all-encompassing threat that you really can't fight back. It's just like tar monster thing.
Okay. So, yeah. That's a villain I like.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not all about power, it's sometimes just about a guy, and he wants to do something. And in trying to do that, he ruins your life, so you have to get him back for it. Doesn't have to be this big, powerful dude. It can be just a guy
with the motivation,
with a dream, and you're in the way.
I think I might actually have some sort of in my story. I might actually end up having a big final type fight because I don't know. I feel like there should be I feel like it should go out with a bang.
I think there should be some kind of event like that, but I mean, not the big bad doesn't necessarily need to be the big fight. It could be his number one minion or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, in Fable 2, there was a big boss fight, but it just wasn't Lucian. It was the big crystal thing that you fought on the beach beforehand. That was just before the very ending.
Mm-hmm.
It was a boss fight. It was a final boss fight, but it just wasn't the boss, as it were.
Well, I guess it really depends on how you do your story, really, because there can be villains that are they're just a man, and then there can be villains that be like, I want to be more than just a man, and focus on making themselves powerful so they can dominate. That's also a thing.
Mm.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
I'm out of topics for that.
Recommendations. Alright, this is something we wanted to do, I think it was either last week or the week before. Recommendations for good stories that you've read and you think other people should read too because they're that amazing. It is notoriously difficult to find good fan fiction, so it's a good idea for us to maybe point people in the direction of some stories that maybe they haven't discovered yet that really do deserve to be read.
If you would have told me this a few days ago, I'd have a list to link, but I got nothing.
I told you this 2 weeks ago when we first brought up the idea of the topic.
I forgot. Okay, my memory's terrible, apparently.
I guess so.
The only thing I have right now is a Harry Potter Naruto crossover. I started reading A Ninja Who Lived. It's pretty good so far.
Better than mine?
No.
Oh.
It's longer, though,
okay.
so...
Fair enough. Slice's recommendation is that you read my fic.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm an asshole.
No comment.
Okay. So, A Ninja Who Lived is Slice's recommendation. Any more details on what that's about, aside from Harry Potter Naruto?
Harry dies in the final battle with Voldemort, and his memories are kind of reincarnated into Naruto, who doesn't get the memories until... It's kind of vague about it, but sometime during the academy, he gets a brush with death, and it kind of awakens the memories there. I'm still in the part where he's kind of getting used to having the memories of two different people. He's mostly Harry, but with kind of shades of Naruto.
Okay, that's an interesting concept. It's different from, there's characters now in this universe, which is nice.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a twist on that, rather than just playing it straight.
I normally wouldn't read it, but I'm desperate, pretty much. You weren't kidding when you said it's hard to find good fan fiction these days. Especially if you've been reading them as long as I
when you've been
have.
around for a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go with Zero next. Have you got any ideas for stories people should maybe take a look at?
Let's see. I haven't really read anything in a while, but I feel like if anybody hasn't heard of Gabriel Blessing, they should go check out his stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to search that now because I've never heard of this dude.
In Flight, Sword
Or
on...
lady.
What is it? Hill of Swords? I think that's it.
Yeah. In Flight and Hill of Swords.
Both
Good writer.
excellent picks. Yeah.
You'll have to link me, Casey.
I will. How am I going to do that? This is Zero's idea.
Oh.
Well, you're already looking.
Aren't you finding it, though?
I think I just found it. It's Gabriel Blessing. So... I've never heard of this dude / lady. I've no idea. Gender. Gabriel. Could be either way.
Oh, he's also got the that other story of his. It's Shiro and Mia, harem or ecchi protagonist or what was it? Arrow protagonist?
Arrow game
protagonist.
That's it, yeah. That's if you've played Monster Girl RPG, read that. Just read it. It's funny.
I did play that. I kind of regret playing that a little bit, but yeah. Okay. Oh, he's got a Kenshi story on this. You don't see a lot of those. Good stuff. All right. I'll have to look at this guy at some point as well. Yay.
Maybe we could get some more...
I have stuff to read.
Maybe we could get some more people in here.
Maybe. And maybe it's a girl. You never know. Gabriel. Could go either way.
I have no idea.
Yeah. All right. Got any other Zero? Slicer only gave one because he only had one. So.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking at my... followers list. There was I enjoyed the Fire Shadow of Fairy Tail. It was a Naruto and Fairy Tail crossover.
Fire Shadow Fairy Tail. I feel like I've read that one, but I don't remember. But yeah, there's a few good Naruto Fairy Tail stories around. Mm-hmm. Story of a Lost Shinobi, I think, was one.
Mm.
Another World Story of a Lost Shinobi. That was it. That's a good one.
What's it crossover with?
Naruto Fairy Tail.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, hardly ever updates anymore, though, from what I've seen.
Yeah, that's a shame. He hasn't updated in like a couple months at least, but it's a long-running fic. There's a lot of it, and pretty much all of it's worth reading. So
was that by Lanky Nathan?
That's the one.
That one is actually pretty good.
Yep, it's very good. I'm not sure whether it's on my favorites list or not. Should be, if it's not.
Something else
Any others?
Yeah.
Any other Zero?
I've got a list. This was these are all fics that I read a long time ago, but they're still on my followers list, my alerts list. Gohan's Dilemma. It's DBZ and Naruto. Which is it's an interesting mix. You've got frickin' Super Saiyan Gohan fighting Orochimaru and whatnot, and lots of action.
I can't imagine that fight would last very long.
I think like I don't know if they buffed up Orochimaru or anything, but they did something. Like I think there was another one which was another DBZ crossover because I liked DBZ crossovers back before I started writing, and it was. Let me see, where is it? I think it was a Saiyan and Mahora, which is DBZ and Negima.
I thought it was Nejima.
Nejima.
No, it's Negima.
Negima.
I always thought it was Negima. And
it's Negima.
Or it's Magister Neji, Negi, Maji, whatever. And
whatever.
It's again it's Gohan, but now he's in Mahora Academy, and I think he has to fight I can't remember. Was it that one was he becomes like a sort of like a teacher or teacher assistant there with like Negi, and it was I don't remember anything about it really, but it was interesting. I can just recommend a whole bunch of DBZ crossovers.
Okay, how about you don't blow your load in this one episode, so you've got stuff to do if we do this again.
Also read Celestial Suicide Mage X782 Grand Magic Games, the side story to my book. It's one chapter, and Cease Wildcard needs to update it. I know you're listening to this, Cease Wildcard. Seriously, consider it.
Okay. Yeah. I got a little bit weird and personal there for a second.
It's not shameless plugging
Tristin,
if you don't admit it.
If it's not yours, technically, then yeah. Tristin, recommendations?
I've got a few. High School and Aliens by Wolf3391 or 391. It's a Naruto and I believe Tularu or however the hell you say that. I don't even know.
Who knows?
Close
it's
enough.
supposed to be trouble, but frickin' Japanese. But
Japan's awesome.
That's supposed to say trouble?
Yeah, it's love in Japanese is rabu, and trouble is torabu. Toraboru, or something like that. And they just basically separated it. At least that's what I've heard.
Toraboru. Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while since I read it, but it's actually a good story. It's one of those immortal Naruto stories, though. So if that's not your thing, don't bother.
There's good ones of those.
Yeah,
there can be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to point out that Kenshi wrote a couple of those.
Yeah.
So, there are good ones of those.
Anything by Kenshi, now that you've mentioned it, is a good story. I was gonna say.
He doesn't even have to be here. We plug it for him.
I was going to say The Battle Never Ends. I recently read the latest chapter, and it
just updated, yes.
It is awesome still. Though I still say Naruto's a frickin' masochist in that. I swear.
A little bit.
Anyways.
Why?
Why? I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it, because that comment actually kind of spoiled it a bit. A little bit.
He is literally a masochist, though, in that fic.
Another one is Prince of Swords, I do believe, by Toma FF. I think that was recommended to me by Casey.
Might have been, yes, I did read that myself. I think Slice recommended that to me.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, I believe so. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a good one. It's Sword Art Online, only I've forgotten his name because I haven't read it in so long. Kirito is like confident and competent and all that stuff. So he is a protagonist that is not a complete loner and really abrasive like he is in canon.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's a more upbeat version of Sword Art Online, I think. Everyone's kind of nice and happy in it most of the time. Except when things go wrong.
It has its downer moments, obviously, as it is a death game. But
it does.
There's a lot less of those. Yeah.
There's less of those, but they're still there, which makes it not a fixed fic, which makes it a better fic in general.
Then there's Excel World Abyss Box, which is a Naruto and I believe Excel World, obviously.
Yeah, most likely.
And it's like an insert of Naruto into the Abyss, Excel World series. He becomes this guy named Abyss Fox, and that's all I'm gonna say because I just want you guys to read it. Anything
I hate Excel World, so I don't think I could do that.
Well,
Excel World is
I've never heard of it. So.
Excel World is good, but I feel like adding Naruto to it kind of breaks the formula that they got set in there. I don't know. I feel like it's incompatible with Naruto. Well, it's basically like you go you do this whole online fighting game type thing where you basically you get this whole thing where you can basically kind of freeze time, I guess, except you just can't move unless you like use all your points. But you can like sort of freeze time at any situation and be able to observe things, which is what this game does. It is able to accelerate your thought processes as a reward. You can use these points, and that's cool and all. And the main character, he's not like a big shonen character. He's like a small chubby kid, who looks like a kid who would be playing video games all the time. And
it's
I feel
a bit
like
of a fan theory that he's actually taller. That's like his self-image of himself, his really short thing, because his height is listed as the same as everyone else. It's just, yeah.
But, you know, that's pretty cool. I'll have to look into that, but he's not a very self-confident character typically, and, you know, he's a kind of a nerd. And I feel like adding Naruto into that, who, you know, is more compatible with more, you know, shonen type things, and, you know, adding Naruto into a world where it's all about, you know, electronics and futuristic things like that, I feel like that's incompatible.
Well, what it is it's Naruto was born in that world.
So that kind of... Okay.
Yeah. Now that we've gone through that, another recommendation is the
Last one.
Yeah, the Son of the Huntress series. Naruto and Percy Jackson. I got into those for a little while. And then just been waiting.
I've never read Percy Jackson, so...
I've just seen the movie, and most people write fics about the books, so I'm completely lost.
I didn't even read the books yet.
I think I actually looked at that fic, Son of the Huntress. I didn't read it.
I just tend to skip over anything that's Percy Jackson because I know absolutely nothing about that series at all. Never even heard of it before I started looking on fanfiction. So, completely lost.
It's more American.
But if you recommend it, and there's Percy Jackson fans out there, and maybe Naruto fans that want to open their horizons a little bit, go for it. I don't know.
Worth a look, sounds like.
Yeah.
It's well written, is what I'm trying to say. Anything that I've recommended is just well written.
I'm trying to remember if I read that one or another one. I remember reading a Naruto and Percy Jackson crossover, which wasn't that good. So I don't know if that was it. That might not be, but I don't know. It feels weird to me.
Anyway, my recommendations, and we're going to close out with these because we've been running for like over an hour and a half. So, all right. First up, we've got Mass Effect: Human Revolution. If anyone here has ever played Deus Ex and/or Mass Effect, it's a very good series. It's nominally just those two series crossed over. It's Adam Jensen from Human Revolution gets cryogenically frozen and wakes up in the Mass Effect time period because Seraph had a bright idea or something. And basically, the Templar ending of Deus Ex 2 happened. So all human modification is
illegal?
A sin, or whatever. It's illegal, it's worth lynching over, kind of thing. So, yeah, it's a good story. It's basically those crossover, but there's also a lot of elements from other series in it. There's some SMT in there. There's some nods to other series that...
Square Enix.
Has anyone ever heard of Wanzers? What are they?
Never heard of Wanzers.
They're an element. It's like a walking tank kind of thing. They're an element that's added to the series. I assume they're from something, but I don't know. There's some of the new Star Trek stuff put in there, I think. I'm pretty sure one of the characters is a send-up of the guy that Benedict Cumberbatch played. But, yeah, it's very well written. It's actually by one of the people who worked on Deus Ex Human Revolution, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth reading. To say it's well written is understating things a little bit.
I've never played any Deus Ex game, but that does sound interesting. I might have to check that out.
It is worth looking into, trust me. I spent a couple of days just burning through the whole story in one go. It's worth it.
How long is it?
It is currently 409,000 words.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that'll keep me busy for a while.
Yeah. Second recommendation, a little bit lighter, is Ashes of the Past, a Pokemon fic. Basically, in one of the Diamond and Pearl films, Ash dies and is sent back in time by Arceus to when he first started his journey. and it's not he's so powerful and smart and clever through this time because he's learnt everything already. It's more, we're just going to screw around for the entirety of canon, just fuck around with all of the events.
Okay, I need a link for that, because that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I'm always on the lookout for Pokemon fics. They're so rare to get a good one. It's just, yeah.
I mean, Ash is taught about Aura, and he can understand Pokemon speech now. Squirtle is an otaku.
I can totally see that,
those pointy sunglasses, there's a reason for those, and it's a very, very good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Squirtle has the power to break through the vault of heaven and all that stuff. It's not just his Squirtle either, it's all Squirtles everywhere. At one point, Misty insists that they go visit this hidden colony of Squirtles, and they get there, and it's all these Squirtles, and they've got headbands with metal plates on them with a turtle shell on them.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's the hidden village of... Oh, that's a good story. Yeah, it's definitely worth reading. I think it just got into the Orange Arc.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's a good one. And we have, last but not least, actually, probably least. No, definitely not least. Actually, I take that back. I so very take that back. I'm sorry, Arsino. Victory at Ostagar. Anyone played Dragon Age?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Basically, the Battle of Ostagar, they actually managed to get the signal off in time. King Loghain's army does charge rather than quit in the field, and they win. Kaelin survives, Duncan doesn't, and then the war in Ostagar carries on from there, and it's all... it's a lot more political than the game was. It's very heavily... The main character is the human noble. All of the protagonists are in, pretty much, except for the elf mage. No, the human mage, sorry. And it's feminine-minded, I'd call it. It's written by a woman, I know for a fact. All the protagonists that are in the game are present. They're all women. And it's very relationship-heavy a lot of the time. Fight scenes are still amazing. It's definitely worth a look if you're a fan of Dragon Age. It might be a bit much if you've not played the game.
Yeah, I'm getting the impression you'd probably get lost if you didn't play the game.
You probably would. It tries to make it accessible for anyone who's not played it before, but there's probably some elements that are just going to throw you for a loop. But if you played the game, then it is probably the thing I recommend most from anything in the Dragon Age fandom at all. It is amazing. But, yeah, I think that's my last recommendation. Those are probably the 3 favorites that I have so far.
Alright, those are pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel so underprepared.
How's that?
Well, I only had one, and it wasn't even really a recommendation. It was just what I'm doing right now.
All I did was pick out the best ones on my favorite list.
Same.
I have no favorites.
You have
my
no favorites?
My favorite list is empty. I only have follows. I don't follow. I don't favorite.
You really should put some things in your favorites so that people have... It's a good way for people to find good stories. So, help the community out a little bit, Zero.
Okay.
Be a nice guy.
That's how I mainly find good stories, actually, is just going onto the follows or the favorites list of authors I like.
Yeah, exactly. The audience out there, do everyone a solid. Just put some things in your favorite stories so people know what's good and what's worth reading. Because trawling through the general archives is such a pain.
Oh, God, yeah. Dumpster diving, basically.
Especially when there's a ton of yaoi on frickin' Naruto. Oh, God.
Yeah.
You mean
search with any male character name. Search with any male character name, and it'll just be slashed for, 99.99% of the stories that you find. Anyway.
It's even worse.
So I think we'll leave it there.
It's even worse when it comes up with, like, a female character and a male character that you're searching for, and yet the story is still Slash.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. It's a little bit bizarre. I thought the convention was that any characters that are listed in the summary are paired.
Well,
that's pretty much the convention most of the time.
Well,
that's what you're supposed to do, but...
They've actually added a new pairing thing where it's like in square brackets, the two names. That becomes the pairing.
Huh.
Yeah. It's something new they added recently.
They did finally add that then.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's something worth adding as far as I'm concerned, because it would be nice if it just had like Slash pairings and you could just remove those completely and you didn't have to even look through them. But I guess that's asking for a lot. I don't know. We'll go the other way and just completely remove het pairings if that's your thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't get that, but sure.
Because fantasy.
Girls like reading about dudes' parts and all that stuff that Chris had talked about in the very first episode. We've been going for 7 episodes. We've been going for 7 weeks. Did you guys realize that?
No.
Well, I've only been on
for
2.
Slice has been for 6 weeks, admittedly, and you guys have only been like 2 and 3, respectively, but still, 7 weeks.
Impressive.
Goddamn. Been going for a little while. It's went on a lot longer than I thought it would, to be honest with you. But
Happy anniversary.
Yay, 7 weeks. It's been 49 days since we started. 42 days since we started officially. Huh. So, on that very weird note, this was the 7th episode of the Fandom Flux podcast. As I just said, you can reach us through our Twitter at Fandom Flux, or through our own personal Twitters. I have one. Sliciness, I believe, has one. Yep. Zero, I don't know.
I have
has one.
I renamed mine to Sliciness, so it should be easy to find.
Yay. And you can also reach us through our profiles on fanfiction.net through the PM feature. And I think that covers everything.
Yep.
Does that cover everything? Oh, we should be getting episodes up on YouTube sooner rather than later, I imagine.
Hopefully.
Probably. It depends on how long it takes me to edit that and make it work. But I think that's everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we will see you guys next week.
Yep.
Later.
Bye.
Right. See you.
Later.
Bye.